Hey millionaires! If you have a Bicentennial Washington quarter dollar in your pocket, wallet, or coin jar right now, it just might turn the tables for you. What appears to be just another old quarter could be worth much more than 25 cents. But you'll need to know exactly what to look for. And that's why you'll want to stick around until the end of this video. Not only will we dive into why this coin is so unique and valuable, but we'll also talk about how you can actually sell it. So let's get into the fascinating world of the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington quarter. To begin with, the coin was minted to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States independence. That in itself makes it a commemorative piece, but the details that went into its design and production make it even more special. Unlike the standard Washington quarters, the reverse side of the Bicentennial quarter features a colonial drummer with a torch encircled by 13 stars in the background. This design was created by Jack L.R., whose initials appear just below the drummer's left arm. And if you've ever noticed the dual date 1776 to 1976 on the front where the regular year normally goes, that's another mark that this coin is not your everyday pocket change. Now, millions, yes, hundreds of millions of these quarters were minted, and that has led many people to believe they're not rare or valuable. But that's only half the truth. While it's true that these coins were widely circulated, certain varieties and conditions have made some of them highly collectible. That's what separates a 25-cent coin from one that can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars online. Let's talk about the different types of bicentennial quarters you might come across. First, there are the standard circulation strikes that were minted at Philadelphia and Denver. These will have no mint mark or a D on the obverse, respectively. Then, there are proof and silver-clad versions that were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Coins from this mint have an S mark, and many of them were made for collectors, not circulation. Here's the kicker. The San Francisco Mint released both copper-nickel-clad proof coins and 40% silver-clad coins. If you have one of these silver-clad coins, even in circulated condition, it could be worth several dollars. In uncirculated or proof condition, the value climbs dramatically. But even within these general categories, the real gems are error coins, coins in exceptional condition, and those with special finishes. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins with errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes can make a bicentennial quarter significantly more valuable. For example, a double die obverse, where the details of George Washington's face and the date are slightly doubled, can be extremely rare. In recent eBay listings, some of these error coins have sold for over $500, and a few have crossed the $1,000 mark. That's a huge leap from 25 cents, isn't it? Then there's the matter of condition. A coin's grade, ranging from good all the way up to mint state 70, plays a major role in determining its value. A bicentennial quarter graded MS65 or higher by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC can command a premium price. There are examples on eBay of MS67 and MS68 graded coins selling for $100, $300, or even more, depending on demand and condition. Coins that look like they just came out of the mint, with no scratches, no wear, and full luster, are considered the cream of the crop. If you're holding on to a silver-proof bicentennial quarter with a mirror-like finish and no damage, congratulations, you already have something special. But if it's also graded by a top service and comes with certification, its value increases significantly. The silver content alone gives it intrinsic value, but the collector appeal adds another layer of worth. Now, let's talk about what kind of prices we're actually seeing on eBay today. A quick check reveals some real surprises. A 40% silver-proof bicentennial quarter in a graded slab by PCGS recently sold for $85. Another auction had a raw uncirculated silver quarter go for over $40. But the real standouts are the error coins, especially the double die and off-center strikes. One listed as a double die reverse with clear doubling on the drummer and torch area fetched $1,300 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $1,300. And while some of these listings might seem like outliers, There's consistent evidence of bicentennial quarters selling for $20, $50, $100 and more, particularly when they're silver, proof, or contain noticeable mint errors. Even raw coins, meaning ungraded, can sell for a premium if the photos are clear and the condition is visibly strong. You might be wondering how to tell if your coin is silver or not. One simple method is to look at the edge of the coin. If you see a copper-colored strip along the side, then it's not silver, it's the standard copper nickel clad. But if the edge looks uniformly silver or has a slightly darker tone with no copper color, it might be a 40% silver version. Still, for full confirmation, you may want to weigh the coin or have it tested by a professional. It's also worth noting that not all silver bicentennial quarters are valuable just because they're silver. Many of them were collected and preserved, so their condition matters just as much as their metal content. A worn-out silver coin might still be worth more than face value, but collectors are really looking for coins in pristine condition. Another thing that makes these coins fascinating is the history behind them. The U.S. Mint launched the bicentennial redesign not just for the quarter but also for the half-dollar and dollar coins. All three featured unique reverse designs celebrating the 200th anniversary of the country's founding. It was a major national event and the coinage was one way the nation marked the occasion. That's why these coins still carry sentimental value, even for people who aren't serious collectors. Many people who own these coins today don't even realize their potential value. They're sitting in coin jars, drawers, or inherited collections. Some are even being spent at face value in stores, simply because people don't know what they have. And that's where the opportunity lies. If you're smart about identifying and preserving these coins, they can become an unexpected source of income or even the start of a larger coin collection hobby. The 1985 D Washington quarter dollar was minted in Denver and is part of the standard clad coinage era of the United States Mint. On the surface, there's nothing immediately special about it. Over 500 million of these coins were struck that year, which means it's a common coin, or so it seems. But in the world of coin collecting, common doesn't always mean worthless. And rarity doesn't always mean valuable. Value is determined by a combination of factors: mintage numbers, condition, era presence, demand, and overall historical appeal. And the 1985 D quarter hits several of these sweet spots when the right conditions are met. Let's talk about quantity first. With more than 500 million coins struck at the Denver Mint, you might assume there's no chance for value, but that's where collectors start to get sharp-eyed. Even in large mintages, anomalies and errors happen. Misstrikes, off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and missing clad layers can occur during the minting process. These are the golden tickets for collectors. A normal 1985 D quarter in average circulated condition might just be worth face value or slightly more, but when you find a unique error, even a subtle one, the value starts to climb rapidly. One of the most commonly discussed errors from the 1985 D quarter is the off-center strike. Off-center coins are created when the planchet, that's the blank coin disc, isn't properly aligned within the press. As a result, part of the design appears off to one side. In minor cases, these can be worth $10 to $30. But when a coin is significantly off-center, say 50% or more with visible date and mint mark, values can go up dramatically. Some of these coins have sold on eBay and auction sites for over $100. Then we have the double die variety. This occurs when the coin die itself is struck twice, misaligned between strikes, resulting in doubling of the design. On Washington quarters, doubling can appear on the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust. If you have a 1985 D quarter with strong, visible doubling on the obverse or reverse, you might be holding a coin worth hundreds of dollars, but condition still matters here. Another standout error for 1985 D quarters involves missing clad layers. These are the coins where part or all of the outer copper nickel layer is missing, exposing the pure copper core beneath. This kind of error gives the coin an odd, reddish-brown appearance and often lighter weight. These are very collectible, especially when the coin is otherwise in good condition and the layer loss is full or nearly full. Prices vary, but verified missing clad layer quarters from 1985D have sold in the $150 to $300 range depending on condition and visibility of the date and mint mark. Let's now move into condition. This is where things start to get very serious. When a 1985D Washington quarter is preserved in exceptional, uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no wear and maintains full mint luster, it moves into the mint state or MS category. The scale goes from MS60 up to MS70, with MS70 being flawless. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin in that condition, and therefore the more valuable. Coins graded MS65 or higher are relatively scarce compared to their total mintage. PCGS and NGC, two of the top third-party grading companies, have recorded hundreds of MS64 and MS65 coins, but MS66 and MS67 examples are considerably rarer. In fact, an MS67 1985D quarter has sold at auction for more than $500. That's right, a coin worth 25 cents at face value sold for hundreds, just because it was in perfect condition and graded professionally. Now, MS68 examples are almost non-existent, and if one does show up, prices can reach four figures, yes, even over $1,000 in extreme cases. You may be wondering how to tell if your coin is worth grading. Start by examining it under good lighting. A coin that still has its original luster, no visible scratches, strong strike, and a sharp rim with full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers is a good candidate. If it has any visible doubling or errors, that's an additional bonus. But before sending it off to be graded, which can cost $30 to $70 depending on service speed and insurance, it's worth doing your research or even consulting online communities. Let's talk market trends. Over the past 5 years, the numismatic market has seen a consistent uptick in interest from new collectors, investors, and even casual hobbyists. Coins that were once considered too new or too common are now being re-evaluated, especially when found in pristine condition or with verified mint errors. The 1985D Washington quarter sits in a perfect historical window, not old enough to be dismissed as modern junk, not new enough to be considered low interest. It's right in that sweet zone for Generation X and millennial collectors who grew up seeing these coins in daily life and now want them in their collections. In eBay listings and sold auctions, raw ungraded 1985D error quarters have been seen selling for as little as $10 and as high as $350, depending on error visibility and condition. Graded coins naturally command much higher premiums. And the most successful sales aren't always from massive coin dealers. Individual sellers with verified coins and sharp, clear photos often get competitive bids. So here's where you come in. If you've got a 1985D Washington quarter, maybe one you've had in a drawer for years or just received in change, it's time to look at it closely. Hold it up under light. Check for off-center strikes, doubling, weird colors or surfaces. Look at the mint mark, the edge of the coin, and the fine details. If anything looks odd or extra crisp, you might have something special. And the next question you're probably asking is, how do I sell it? That's what I'll get into in a moment, but first, a quick reminder. Not every 1985D quarter is rare. Common circulated ones are worth around face value. But condition, errors, and grading can change that entirely. And it doesn't take much. A minor detail can be the difference between 25 cents and $250. That's why I always say, if you think your coin might be worth something, protect it right away. Don't clean it. Don't touch the faces. Place it in a soft holder, a flip, or ideally an airtight capsule. That keeps its condition intact. Okay, now, if you've watched this far, you deserve the most important part. How much is your 1985D Washington quarter worth, and how can you sell it? Well, here's the truth. Every coin's value depends on unique features, condition, errors, grade, and buyer demand at the time you list it. That's why I don't just throw a number out here at the end. Instead, I want to help you directly. If you really want to know how much your coin is worth, and how to sell it, whether through eBay, auction houses, private collectors, or coin shows, Just scroll down and comment price in the comment section below. I will personally respond with a detailed evaluation and guide you step by step on how to list or sell your coin to get the best value. Don't let a potentially valuable coin sit unnoticed. The 1985 D Washington quarter dollar might seem ordinary, but for some, it's turned into a small financial surprise. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just curious about coins, it's worth paying attention to. So go check your quarters. Look through your change jar. You never know, the next valuable find might be right under your nose. Comment price now to get your coin's actual worth and selling strategy. And if you learned something from this video, consider subscribing for more rare coin updates, tips, and deep dives. Your next quarter might be your next big opportunity.